And then for textbooks, diagrams, cadavers, this is the real thing. Scalpel. Bigger scalpel. Better. Clean cut through the dermal. Suction. Using a tractor. They cauterize. Just nudge these intestines over to the right. Bone cutter. Uh-oh. Nicked a bit of a liver there. Hello, Mr. Pancreas. It only hurts when I laugh.
What's happening?
Jennifer?
You are dead.
Don't worry. It's just a routine operation.
The doctor will see you now.
How y'all doing, my friends? 1 second, please. Just have to shut off the lights better because it works better when I go to Blue Lake Theater in dark. Do it with the lights on and get a bad glare. Airplane magazine there has a paper in my background there backing up. But now comes the review of. Now, the other reviews you've seen in front of this, and they're like that, like I talked about when Stranger Calls and Visiting Hours, with good little movies here and there. But this is more my kind of movie now, and that is Dr. Giggles. I don't know, I really love this fucking movie. I know I'm not alone. I know Mike holds this movie in high regard, and I know Matt enjoys this film a lot. I think when he did a video of, I think, underrated killers, Dr. Giggles made the list, which I'm very happy it did. And I don't remember if Mario's ever seen this one, but you should, Mario. You should give this one a watch. Or Michael's thoughts on Dr. Giggles. But very, very fun slasher movie. I mean, you look at movies like this and you wonder, like, why the fuck can you make movies like this anymore? You know, when they do it, they always fuck it up with bad CGI or stupid endings or just shit that just doesn't work. Like, I will say, Adam Green, you should have took notes from this film and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say it's immaculate. I mean, I will say, well, Friday 13 Part 4 and 7 and 6 are better, but still, I mean, it's a good film. I think it's very underrated, and I think this should have got a franchise instead of fucking Leprechaun, in my humble opinion, because it just, Leprechaun was just such a useless attempt at trying to milk something. This one, you could have done it or whatnot, but hey, the movie ended. At least it had an ending. It wasn't like it left it in, sequel bait or nothing like that. It ends. And the film is written and directed by a guy who went on to have a decent little career, Manny Koto. Manny Koto, I guess, his directing credit on IMDb. Now, the movie has a 4.7. That's too low. This movie should be a little higher, in my humble opinion. Should be at least a 5.2 or something like that, in my humble opinion. Let's see. He went on to write a lot of stuff. Like, he wrote a handful of episodes of Dexter TV series. And he also wrote some episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. Let's see. On directing, last thing he directed was something called Zonin, the sequel, from 2001. The Other Me from 2000. After this, he directed that fantasy film, kids movie, which I remember seeing as a long time ago. I wanted to revisit again. Star Kid. He directed an episode of Tales from the Crypt called Morning Mess. He also directed that lackluster Dolph Lundgren, Lou Gossett Jr. movie Cover Up, which I remember not caring much about at all. Never like that, but he he went on to become an executive producer and stuff, like between behind 24 and Dexter and Star Trek Enterprise and Strange World and Outer Limits TV series in the mid 90s. That's Manny Coto, pretty much. And the other guy who wrote this, Graham Waffler, let me see what Graham Waffler had gone on to do. Graham Waffler. Well, he did a lot of second unit stuff, directing. Well, he was the writer behind behind the original screenplay of this 1989 movie called Sonny Boy, which that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think I've seen this one. That's the one with David Carradine and Paul Smith. I guess he came up with the original screenplay, I guess, before it got rewritten. Which I remember David Carradine's performance being very good in the film, but the movie was just much ado about nothing, in my humble opinion. He wrote Dr. Giggles in 2005. He hasn't wrote none since 2005, so they call Neighborhood Watch, which he directed also. But the film is a very, very fun, slasher comedy that does it the right way. And the main reason why the movie works is your star of the film, Mr. Larry Drake. Larry Drake, I would always remember him because he was in Darkman. He was Durant. He was the bad guy in Darkman. That's right, Robert E. Durant. I'm Robert Durant. Yeah, I remember him from there. I mean, he was a good bad guy in that. So who better to be a slasher icon? Why not? And I'm also Trachtenberg did a very fun review of this film, which I want to put the link to it down below. If any of you guys haven't seen Trachtenberg's videos, you guys should give it a look if you're interested. I'll put the link down there just in case. And I'm always thankful to Mario for introducing me to that guy's videos and stuff. And then thanks to that, I was able to show it through Matt and Mike and Marv, Kevin, Tony. He loves Trachtenberg's videos as well. Hey, I'm a fan too. So, that. So he did a good review of the film, which I'm going to put in the link down below if you haven't seen it. Hey, watch it again. Why not? It's fun shit. The movie has been YouTubed because I guess Universal doesn't give a fuck about Dr. Giggles. Or maybe because it's connected with Largo Entertainment. Largo Entertainment is kind of independent. They release their own films and they distribute it a certain way. That's one of the reasons why, like back in the day, it'll be released through Universal. Sorry, I started through Universal. But then somehow when they do it today, they make a double feature pack. Warner Brothers ends up releasing it one, kind of like what they did with Time Cop. Universal released it back in the day, but now if you get the DVD of Time Cop and a double feature pack, Warner Brothers has the rights to it now. So it's very strange how that works. Same thing with Unlawful Entry, with Kurt Russell film. That was released to that same company, Largo Entertainment. And now back in the day, it was distributed to 20th Century Fuckface. But now if you want Unlawful Entry on DVD, it's a double feature pack with Soldier, and that's through Warner Brothers. So it's a very weird setup Largo Entertainment has. I don't know why. Very strange. But this film here, where the hell did I start? I mean, the score for the film is by Brian May. I mean, it's an okay score. I think Brian May has done better. Sad to say, I didn't even notice Brian May is no longer with us. So rest in peace, Brian May. And the movie stars Larry Drake as your title character, Dr. Giggles. And he steals the show at times. He is very great in the role. He knows how to drop the right lines of humor there and stuff like that. But that last one, that just works so much. It opens up where he's in the middle of surgery, giving somebody open heart surgery who's dead in the operating room. And we see people, it pans out to this area, like, when they give students a lesson or they show them, like, medical students where they look down or whatnot. You see people looking down on them. And ultimately, the lead guy who controls you find out it's a mental hospital. And we see that Giggles has killed the guy. And there's a scene there where you have this receptionist nurse right there. She's getting a massage. She goes, "Will you stop, doctor?" Doctor, and puts her hands down her boobs. "Hey, doctor." And then she turns around and it's Dr. Giggles with severed hands going, he should have kept his hands to himself. Larry Drake, I don't know who could get away with that shit. I mean, if anyone else could have probably done that, probably would have fucked it up. I mean, it's like, you have certain characters, like, how you have Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. Well, same thing with here. Larry Drake is Dr. Giggles. I mean, he brought something special to that role. So ultimately, he kills a guy, he steals a car to get out of the gate or whatnot. We find out that people who were watching in the observation area were patients. That's one of the reasons nobody wasn't fucking allowing him opening up a guy with his suit open. Good practical effects when they're there. I don't know if MPA fucked with this film, because sometimes it's like a lot of aftershot kills. I don't know if that's because of MPA or maybe because of the director and stuff. The movie's 95 minutes, and the body count of the film is about 17 minutes. Let me see. Is this film... Let me just look at some of the trivia real quick. I just want to see here if they say anything about... Let's see. I don't know. I don't see nothing about MPA, so who knows? Maybe they could have fucked with it. Maybe because, I guess, the director doesn't do that much horror movies. Maybe he don't know how to mess around with that. He wants to go on more on the silliness of it, so it works for what it has to do. And then we're introduced to our leads of the film. This girl named Jennifer, played by Holly Marie Combs, who go on to be in Charmed. You could take her or leave her, to be honest. I mean, I didn't care much for Charmed, and I didn't care much for her. I mean, she was there. She did what she had to do. Like, once again, like I've said again yesterday when I was talking about those movies, I've seen better. Meaning Amy Steele, meaning Neve Campbell in Scream, meaning Jamie Lee Curtis, Heather Langenkamp. You get the picture, pretty much. I've seen better. I've also seen worse. Rooney Mara. Oh, God. If I take too many naps, I'm going to get into a permanent sleep. ... Oh. I just got licked in the face by an ugly burnt man. Oh. See, that's worse. In my humble opinion. That's just me. But everybody will agree. Everybody hates Rooney Mara, so I'm with you guys on that all the way. Keep forgetting I'm talking to friends. I don't know why. But anyway, that's for the better, that. But she's having some problems because school's out. She has a boyfriend Max, played by an actor who's no longer with us, Glenn Quinn. But she was okay, not bad. I don't know what he has been known to done. He passed away in 2020, 32 years old, and stuff. He was in that movie Shout with John Travolta. Let's see. Oh, he was from Ireland. Let's say what he passed away of. Then you say what he passed away of. Oh, well, sad to say, drug addiction. Let's see what has he been on, I guess. I guess he was in the early season of Angel. Oh no, wait a minute. He had a recurring role, I guess, as Alan Doyle. I think he might have been maybe that character that's always in the green makeup, I guess, at the horns. I don't know I haven't seen Angel in years, so I don't know. TV series. But he's no longer with us. He did okay as your lead. He wasn't my favorite. I mean, the teenage characters in the film, they were there. The characters I did like a lot, I kind of got pissed off. They killed those characters off. Like, you have the two cops in the film. Part of me wishes those guys were more, the lead of the film, because I liked those guys. Officer Hank, Magruder, played by Richard Bradford. Well, I meant Richard Bradford. He was in Legend of Billie Jean and stuff. Let's see. I guess he's still running around. He retired by now, more or less. He also has a small part in the Untouchables as well. And his young partner, who's the black guy, who's not the comic relief, and he was good as a lead, Officer Joe Ritz, played by Keith Diamond, which I like the Keith Diamond. I kind of got pissed off that they killed him off as well. Wish his character had lived and stuff. Of course, he's from Jamaica, Queens, from New York. I guess he's done voice acting. He was also in the film Desperate Measures, which I think I have that there thanks to Mike. Let's see. He was also on the TV series Charmed, ironically enough. Episode of The Shield. Yeah, he did voice acting for Transformers, Robots in Disguise, 2001. Let's see, yeah. I know it. He was the voice of Jay in Men in Black, the TV series, cartoon. I thought the voice sounded familiar. He had a recurring role on Drew Carey Show. Let's see. An episode of The Cosby Show. Episode Law and Order. I thought he did pretty good. I thought he did very good in the role. Yeah. But they killed him off because he's the black guy. Which that sucked. But at least I liked the fact that his character went out fighting, though. Which I liked it. And he wasn't the comic relief and stuff. So, basically, you got them and their friends. And usual, pretty much by the book. You know, you got Dougie Doug there, which I'm not the biggest fan of Dougie Doug. I could deal with him in Cool Runnings. I could deal with him a little bit in Operation Dumbo Drop. But I hated him in Hanging with the Homeboys. I thought his character was annoying and stuff. That TV series he had done with Cosby, there were times I wish his character was just off the fucking show because he was annoying. I didn't like him. He's annoying and stuff. But here in the film, he's not in it that much. He's not in it enough to fuck it up and stuff. Like I said, I could deal with him in Cool Runnings. I could deal with him in... I noticed that darn cat, that one he did with Christina Ricci, I heard he was horrible in that stuff. But Dougie Doug, he's in the film for a little bit for what he has to be, which is that's for the better. This is my opinion. And you have the two other friends. Of course, you know, by the checkbook, you have the slutty girl, in this case, slutty girls. But there's no titties in here, so you don't see any nudity from them. But there's slutty girls. Who wants the lead girl's guy? Naturally, we've seen this before in a lot of films. By the numbers, by the book. Okay. So basically, you have a thing going on there where Holly Marie Combs' character, Jennifer, is feeling a little down lately because for one, she had lost her mom not so long ago. And her father in the film was played by Cliff DeYoung. Cliff DeYoung I like. I mean, he did this movie, Pulse, which I reviewed a long time ago. He had more to do in Pulse than here, but he was okay. It was nice to see Cliff DeYoung there. Plays her dad. And what I like about the character's not an asshole. Once again, Cliff DeYoung's playing a good dad in these movies, which is great. Like he was a good dad in Pulse, but granted he had more to do in Pulse than here. But it was nice to see that though. And he's met a new woman. You could say he's sort of remarried now. Some girl named Tamara, or Tamara named, played by Michelle Johnson, which that name sounds familiar. Michelle Johnson. Why do I recognize that name? Let's see. I recognize Michelle Johnson. That's right. Because Michelle Johnson was in Waxwork. That's why I recognize the name. That's right. She was in Waxwork. She played the character of China, the girl who was in that area where she went with the vampires around. She got fucked up by the vampires. That's China. She played China. Stuff like that. She was a bitch in that movie, and she's a bitch in this film. So, Michelle Johnson's playing the bitch, basically, and stuff, and everything. She played the stepmom, and You know, I didn't recognize her because her hair was darker. I'm used to seeing her hair blondish or whatever. But it was good to see her there. And basically, Jennifer character, Anne Marie Combs' character, is going through some other issues because she has a bad heart valve. So she might have to undergo some special heart surgery, which her doctor assures her that it's not serious. But when you're dealing with the heart, it's always serious. It's at least in my humble opinion. So she has good reason to be worried. All right. And maybe if this was a better actress, could have pulled it off a little bit more. But for what she had to do, she was there. All right. Like I said, I've seen worse and I've seen better. So she's just there. She's passable. So basically, her doctor, who looks like Kyle MacLachlan, but it's not Kyle MacLachlan, looks like him though, tells her to avoid strenuous activities, no drinking, no partying. I guess no, too, because that's strenuous activities. So she goes to meet her boyfriend Max, Glenn Quinn, at this at this little fair in town or whatnot, where all the friends are at and everything. It's kind of a little makeout place on the hill. And I like how the two cops, Officer Hank and Officer Joe, come in and fuck everything up. I really like Richard Bradford, this character, where he comes out saying stuff. Let's see. Is it even on IMDb? No. Well, that sucks. Once again, it's like being on IMDb and not fans. They didn't put all the quotes. Bullshit, my dick. But basically, he scares everybody with the way he says the stuff. He says, "All right, it's part of the job. Now get out of here now." Or he says it like very funny. Could you in the sheriff in these movies or the guys with always the tight ass and stuff like that? But I like the idea he's a little bit loosened up and it's like, "All right, go in there. That's right. You can't have no fun tonight. Go somewhere else where you spend some time in our new repainted jail cell." And stuff. And then his partner, Officer Joe, played by Keith Diamond, says some stuff as well. He said, "Well, it's telling a lot of tradition. You want to see traditions? All right, it's a tradition." So we get back to Dr. Giggles, where he's broken into his old house and backs down this wall where it used to be this doctor's office. And we get a little bit of a backstory through a flashback that his real name is Dr. Evan Rendell Jr. Now, his father, Evan Rendell Sr., was this big town doctor and everything like that. And basically, his son, always wanted to be a doctor. One night you see a scene there, he's opening up a teddy bear and stuff and everything like that. Until one day, Dr. Rendell's wife, Dr. Giggles' mom, had bad heart problems. She had a bad heart. She was dying. So basically, Dr. Giggles' dad went nuts and started taking out his patients one by one, looking for a heart replacement for his wife. And this was the 1950s when all this happened, late 50s. So there weren't too many heart transplants, I guess, going around. I don't know. So ultimately, the town found out about it and went to the house, dragged the doctor out, stoned him to death. We don't see it, but we hear that backstory. And basically, Dr. Giggles, Rendell Jr., wants to take revenge on the town of Moore High. That's the town, Moore High, which I agree with Trachtenberg when he says sound like a name of a half-baked sequel. Moore High! This shit. It's 10 o'clock, so I guess. I got this for a special occasion, but not now. Now, 10 o'clock at night, I stick to Snap. But, someone ever bet me to take one sip, I won't be able to do it. That's how good it is. You want to keep on going. Yes, I love that. Give me people the urge to start drinking when watching videos. So, he says the town is sick and I have the cure. Or something more or less like that. And I'm probably going to fuck up all the dialogue because Larry Drake does all this, spits it out, perfectly and stuff. And starts taking up here one by one. What happens is you got the other kid, like Dougie Doug, his girlfriend, his annoying girlfriend, and the other guy talking about the rhyme, because they're trying to make a little nursery rhyme of Dr. Giggles, which I don't know by heart, and I'm willing to bet. And the quotes, it's not there. Let me see. Is it even in the quotes? Let's see. No, not in the quotes. Right? Yep, not in the quotes. I knew it. But goes in like they go in there. I don't know why. I guess to fuck around, drink or whatnot. Like you have this other guy with the hat and the girl, and Dougie Doug is in there, and they're fucking around the wall. So ultimately, they lock Dougie Doug and his girlfriend in this room as a joke, ha 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 ha, and leave him out there and stuff. And she accuses him, "Oh, you're trying to do this, get into my pants and this and that." All right, all right. You know, I'm not trying to get look. Just get me out of here, and maybe you get in something. So okay, boom, tries to break the door. Larry Drake gets wind that they're in his house, goes upstairs, and stabs him with some green Kool-Aid or high C or something, Slimer high C. Which it looked like that. I agree with Trachtenberg once again. So maybe watch the review, so maybe we'll look at stabs him and just bleeds him. He goes, "Oh, it's time for you to take your injections too." And kills her off camera. So then basically Dr. Giggles follows Stu, I think that's the character's name, Stu, and his girlfriend to, I guess, Stu's house where his parents are away for the weekend, but his little brother is in front of the TV playing Dr. Mario. Which I remember trying to play Dr. Mario at a friend's house one time. Hated that fucking game. It looked hard for some reason. I don't know why. It's basically trying to be like Tetris. But Tetris I have fun with. But Dr. Mario, kiss my ass. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm a doctor. I'm going to prescribe you a pizza with pepperoni. Yeah, fuck that. That's going to be the bill? Pizza with pepperoni? Okay, just send me that. Don't send me no fucking Dr. Mario. Fuck that. Piece of shit name. Never liked it. I just never liked that. So the kid's into it. Playing Dr. Mario. Sneak in there. Stu takes her up to the room and gives her some Victoria's Secret lingerie that he stole from his mom's suitcase. And they look at his mom's Victoria's Secret catalog. So I don't know what the fuck the guy did with this shit, but it's funny, I guess. And she gives him a condom. You want to put this on? You got to put this on for me. So he goes to the bathroom, and this dumb fuck opens the condom and drops the condom in the toilet. And takes, I don't know whose toothbrush is it. Maybe his parents' toothbrush because he's so horny he don't give a shit. And tries to grab the condom. He can't grab it in the toilet. Leaves the girl all by herself there. Before that, there was a noise coming out of Dr. Giggles' house. And there's a lady there, Mrs. Henderson, who's a fucking nosy bitch. Always crying about shit or whatnot. And I like how Officer Hank, Richard Bradford, when he talks about her, he says, that woman, she will talk about more high town stories. Mrs. Henderson, she swears she sees rapists on her hemorrhoid creams. It kind of like his delivery. He said it. I don't know. It made me laugh. He look at the girl, the lady, and she got a fucking French poodle. I hate French poodles. I really do. There was a dog, a French poodle on my job. He used to bark at me every fucking time. I wanted to punch that poodle out the window. It's a faggoty dog I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a dog so miserable want to die. Please kill me. I hate French poodles. Kiss my ass, French poodles. Perry. That's why I got more mad in 2003 Hulk. A giant French poodle, really? Fuck. I don't know. Why one day in the future I rip that movie a new asshole. Brand new again. Or whatnot. The movie deserves to get his ass ripped. So, basically, she's taking pills. So there's a scene there where Dr. Giggles, Larry J, switches a pill. She takes it and she goes, oh. She tries to call a doctor and ultimately he goes, oh, look, I make house calls. Okay. Now, I want you to open your mouth, open wide. And of course, you get a weird camera angle. I like when Manny Coda did this, the camera from inside the mouth, like, like Little Shop of Horrors type of shit. It's like, oh, that's cool. It's like, oh, okay. Guess lucky the doctor always has the right type of tool. And you know the little thing that the doctor has with the light connected to it, that you look into your ear, or you look into your eye, or that stuff like that. But he has thing connected like an extended shit. And takes it. It's all in one shot, which I like this, and sticks it right up the nose, basically killing her right there. Good practical effect and stuff. And he has a very good line where he says that, "Okay, I know." He says something like that and stuff. And then all the kills happens there. I mean, Larry Drake does a good job dropping these lines. Like, if they were done by a talentless actor or whatnot, it would have felt flat. But Larry Drake, I don't know, his appearance, his look, he sells it, you know? He really does. This is something I wish Shout Factory would get a hold of. I would like to hear Larry Drake, how he looks back at Dr. Giggles or whatnot and stuff. Who knows? So he's a commentary with him. If you're not going to do a documentary, at least give me a commentary, at least, with Larry Drake, you know, and stuff. Or maybe Manny Coda, because he co-wrote it, to hear what his thoughts were on the film or whatnot. Who knows? But all that happens there, and Holly Marie Coles tells her boyfriend about the whole thing about her heart surgery, and you realize why she's worried about it, because her mom had went into the hospital for a heart routine operation, and she had died during the operation. So that's one of the reasons our lead girl is worried about going under the knife. Understandable. Once again, if it's delivered by a better actress, I would care. Holly Marie Combs didn't do it for me. You know? But who you like to see in that role? I don't know. Someone around that time period who probably could have done a worthwhile job. I don't know. And stuff. Yeah, for Osha Bulk, I think would have been a better lead than this girl, to be honest. That's just me, you know. Who knows? And stuff. Well, hell, you didn't have to make it the girl the lead. You could have just focused it more on Officer Joe, the black guy, yes. And his partner. But they'd seem the guys I was rooting for the most. But she's there. She's passable. So, goes into all that stuff. She wants to be by herself. She leaves her boyfriend with a stuffed pig toy he won for her. Alone in the fucking fair. The slutty girls go up to him and say there's a party at a makeout party in the school musical room. I don't know why the fuck you have a makeout party there, but I guess it is what it is. And he's showing her how to play a saxophone, and the girl being very, very desperate, where she's sucking on the thing like a dick or whatnot, the nozzle. Say, oh well. And of course, like any other hot-blooded guy, Max is turned on. They start making out. Then the other slutty girls with her gets jealous and sees Holly Marie Combs at the fair again, tells her where Max is at, and walks out on Max. And then basically, you know, she's pissed at him. She walks away to the way you call it, I believe the House of Mirrors. Goes there, and great shots, which I like this shot. We don't see that many slasher take place in an area with mirrors and stuff and everything like that. And Dr. Giggles, Max goes in there, Jennifer, and the slutty girl. And Dr. Giggles kills her because she bangs her nose on the glass or whatnot, because in the hospital you get lost. And he goes, oh, maybe he needs a Band-Aid. It takes a big, giant Band-Aid. You see an after shot of her just suffocated with a giant Band-Aid. Oh, well. It's Dr. Giggles. So she makes it out of there. And I know the lead girl keeps on falling a lot. Like when she's running from him away from this other house, away from this other, she falls down a hill. She runs into the police car. She falls into the back of glass. So she escapes by falling. The bad stereotype of these movies. And she's in the police custody of Officer Joe and Officer Hank. And she tells them that a guy dressed up like a doctor, tried to kill her and her boyfriend tonight. And stuff. And Officer Hank tries to play it off. Oh, they've been drinking. But I like how Officer Joe, the black guy, Keith Diamond, says, they're not drunk. Look, don't go around chasing nursery rhymes. All right, they tell me, what the fuck is going on, Officer Hank? So he tells them what's going on. He tells them the little backstory Because the whole thing about how Dr. Rendell Sr. was killed and his wife was killed and the house was burned and they had all the victims there, they never found Dr. Rendell's son. So he tells a very good creepy story. I always remember this. It's a very creepy way. It's where, one night, we see a flashback when Officer Hank was younger and he was left there to watch all the remains one night. He hears a noise. He goes to check the remains and he sees the body of Rendell's wife there. And there's a slit that opens up from the inside. And lo and behold, out of it crawls out Rendell's son. 7-year-old son. Crawls out of there. And this thing, gave Officer Hank nightmares for 35 years. Or whatnot. And he never told no one about that because he figured they would think he's crazy or whatnot. Because the town wants to forget about the whole thing of the legend of Dr. Rendell and his patients or whatnot. There was a rhyme about it, but I forgot the rhyme. So sue me. So basically, Dr. Giggles makes it into the lead girl's house, fucks up Cliff the Young, not killing him, just takes a bone saw and cuts some of his thing there. You see, that hurts. Wait till you get my bill. And then before that, Cliff the Young was leaving the house. Michelle Johnson pigs out an ice cream. Until ultimately, I thought she got the most vicious death, in my humble opinion. Her and I think the lead guy, the other guy, Stu's girlfriend, was she got a sharp thermometer. I remember at a very young age, before I saw this film, I was always scared of thermometers and stuff like that. So he has a very with a sharp tip on. He goes, "I got the cure for the common cold." And he just puts it right in his palm of his hand, so drives it right into her. He says, "Now keep that in your mouth for about a minute or so." And then the girl's boyfriend crawls into bed, and I like he's under the covers and see Larry Drake there, and he goes, "I hope you wore protection." He pulls out the scalpel, and then it cuts away, and you see a big panel shot where obviously you get the idea the guy's balls got cut off and shit. Oh well. And then he leaves. He walks down. He sees the kid playing Dr. Mario. He goes, "It's terminal," and just walks away and stuff. But Michelle Johnson, going back to her, she got the vicious kill in the film because he ties her on her chair and he goes, all that fat and sugar. Let's see. All that fat and sugar. We gotta start taking better care of ourselves. Remember, we are what we eat. They have a saying, what goes down must come up. And he puts this weird, I guess this machine they use to pump the stomach, I guess when people OD on pills or whatnot. But it has like a little spike on it. And he goes, I know. This sucks. And he pulls the button and I guess takes out her guts or whatnot. Even though it's a little short scene, but just like, you never see what happened to her remains. I can imagine it must be very brutal. And ultimately, Officer Joe gets the backstory from Officer Hank. And, he starts investigating what's going on and stuff like that. So I like the idea he's the lead. He's sort of the lead, but he's not the comic relief. I like the idea he's interested in wanting to stop this shit and stuff. Until Officer Hank makes it to the lead girl's house to pick up the father. Finds the father fucked up there on the floor. Until Dr. Giggles stabs him in the back of his neck with something. You owe me 35 years of sleep, you sick son of a bitch. And takes his gun right before he's dying and gets a shot off on Dr. Giggles. So I like the fact at least he got a little piece of Dr. Giggles. Boom! Shoots him and he says, and then like that, he falls back and he dies. Like he got at least a piece of him. And that's where you get that scene, which you don't see all, like from the trailer, but that's not all of it. That's like some of it. That basically he's operating himself. And that's like that. Alright. So, all that stuff there. And then, see, I'm trying to be a little vague on it, because in case some of you guys haven't seen it. Because maybe because I didn't grow up with this film a lot. I've seen it on and off for a couple of years. But I still enjoy the film a lot. I mean, basically, what the overall gist is that you know, Dr. Giggles gets wind that the lead girl's having bad heart problems, so it makes him think back to his mom and the heart problems he got. So you got sort of history repeating itself, where he's killing people to try to find a heart for this girl. I guess the girl reminds him of his mom or whatnot. So he goes in, a lot of chaos ensues. At least to a climax where he's able to, because the lead girl's through the situation she went through there, she's on this respirator thing right there. It's a stress test where her Kyle MacLachlan doctor is trying to help her there until Dr. Giggles comes in and attacks and stabs her doctor in the shoulder, and they have an instrument fight, almost like a sword fight, which I like. That you know that thing they hit your knee with to get the reflex, but he has a big version of it. He comes at him. He goes, "I think you need a second opinion," and then doctor's like, "Stay away from her," and then cling, 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 and then ultimately gets the drop on him. He went on a fucked up way though. You know those blood pressure machines, the little thing that goes. He puts it around his neck and strangles him with the shit to the point where the vein is almost coming up. He's like, wow, that's fucked up, and he got killed like that. Then he injects her, takes him back to her place, his place over there. Officer Joe goes in to where Dr. Eagle's house is at, and basically finds out he's an escaped patient, this, and that, and this. Finds out his partner's been killed, and gets Clifty Young to the hospital. He's still alive, and makes it to the house there, with Dr. Giggles' doctor's office on the bottom of the house. And you see the remains what's left of everybody. Like you see Stu, you see his girlfriend, I guess. You see Dougie Doug, you see the guy he killed escaping from the mental institution. And all of them have their chest opened up. And you can imagine it's probably going to smell horrible, so I like the fact that the actor did this. He puked, you know, okay. And just before he's about to do surgery, he, like, Dr. Giggles is great. I mean, he's trying to measure for the heart. He has a bunch of hearts in a bucket. He goes, too small. Too big. Ah, just right. And he's about to make the incision. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to go. Gas. What do you want me to do? That's another one there, too. About to make the incision, and then ultimately Officer Joe interrupts him. Don't move! And I like how Larry Drake just says the line, have a heart. And just throws the heart at him. He's like, ooh, what the fuck? Bah, bah, he shoots. And then he blacks out the place. Because he has this defibrillator thing where to do this transplant, he wants to stop Holly Marie Combs' heart. So I like the fact, okay, the guy, the Officer Joe, gives CPR and tries to save her, which he does. Then he goes after Larry Drake. But he takes a stupid decision telling her to stay in the bed, like, you know, come with him, get him the fuck out of there or whatnot. His double X around kills her, but she gets out of there. Then ultimately, her boyfriend shows up there, because he's the boyfriend. He's got to show up there and stuff. And he gets her to help move Holly Marie Combs out. And I like how Larry Drake goes into one room there. He goes, it's time to do what doctors do best. And then he looks, he stares at a golf club bag, and he just picks up his golf club and ultimately attacks Officer Joe. Officer Joe gets in a struggle with him and whatnot, and lures Dr. Giggles away from Holly Marie Combs and her boyfriend so they can escape, because now he has Officer Joe's gun. And they get into a fight with each other there, and his fire starts, and he's about to almost choke him with a chain until Dr. Giggles gets a drop on him with the bone saw and cuts him in his back. Because that pissed me off in a way, because I wanted to see that character live. I didn't want to see him die. But at least he wasn't dying doing something stupid, at least. And stuff like that. So I liked him. And ultimately, they get out of there. Holly Marie Combs and her boyfriend. The place blows up because of the fire that got started. And they take her in for she's about to go into surgery. So Dr. Giggles makes it into the hospital. As you get that scene where he's taking out all these instruments that are all ridiculous, but they're over the top on purpose. Fucks up one of the instruments. He goes, I never let my patient go. Something like that he says, more or less. And then ultimately she gets a drop on him. She throws alcohol on the floor and takes the defibrillator paddles and stuff like that. And basically fries his ass. It's not like that. He's like, and he gets fried and stuff. And then he tries to get the one jump scare, of course, where he tries to get back up. He says, I don't feel so good. And she takes the two instruments of his. She goes, take two of these and call me in the morning. Stabs him in his chart. He breaks the 4-4. Look at the camera. Is there a doctor in the house? And then, boom, he falls on the shit. He gets impaled more. Then she finally gets a heart surgery. Her Cliff Young's okay. The boyfriend comes in there, you give her a kiss, and you see the heart monitor going doo 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 doo. So you get that they made it doing something else. And you get a new rendition of Doctor, you got a bad case of loving you. Which I think Mike did a tribute to that a long time ago with that music, I think, from the movie. Very fun slasher movie. I know I probably fucked up a lot of the jokes and delivery, but that's good. Maybe people will get off your ass and see the movie. But I think it's very underrated slasher film. A fun one. You know, if this came out in 92, it probably was a time maybe when slasher movie, we're coming and going until 96 when they'll get the jump start pretty much with Scream or whatnot. But it's a fun one. It's a slasher movie. Like when I think of a slasher movie, this is what I have in mind. But I also think of Friday 13 films, Nightmare on Elm Street films as well, including Halloween, Halloween 2, and H2O, in my humble opinion, or even Halloween 4 and stuff like that. But that's the fun slasher and stuff, really. But rating for this film, I mean, I got little problems with it, but that's nitpicks, really. Like I wanted the two cops to be a lead more. Holly Marie Combs, she's passable. The lead guy with the girl, he's there. The character Dougie Doug, well, you two fucks about him. The other character just there for body count material. That's about it. But the one who steals the show is Larry Drake. Larry Drake is very great as the title character. He looks like he's having a good time with this. That's what I would like to see if Shout Factory can get a hand on this one, if possible. They can get Larry Drake to talk about Dr. Giggles and whatnot and stuff. I've seen interviews with him. Sound like a nice guy and stuff. Maybe someone could talk to him about Dr. Giggles and stuff like that. I don't know. Or whatnot. Who knows? Depending how he looks back at the movie. Some actors, they're nice, but sometimes they look back like, ugh, I did that movie. Let's see. Who knows? But rating for the film, out of all honesty, is... I don't know, I had so much fun with it. I can excuse some of the stuff. A 10 out of 10, really, in all honesty. So thank you all for tuning into this 48-minute review. And stay tuned for more, videos on HORRORZONE 2013. Alright? So thank you all for tuning in. And you all take it easy and have a good night. Or a good day, depending on when you watch these videos. Okay? Later.